Okay, happy Friday, everyone. I have not done a collective reading for you in quite a while, so today I pulled out the tarot cards and I set the intention of pulling through messages for the collective that would be beneficial and helpful to describe and shed light on the current energy that we're sitting in. And many of you may follow astrologers or astrology pretty closely, and you may know that we are now officially in a Mercury retrograde cycle. And from what I see online, a lot of astrologers are saying this is not quite the retrograde that messes with your electronics and your cars and all that type of stuff. Although technology has been a huge bitch for me the past couple days, so I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. But instead, this retrograde is supposed to be focusing more on a huge internal shift and a lot of messy, mixed up emotions. And so, this 3-ish week period is a time of self reflection, a time of figuring things out, figuring out what stays, what goes, and really just like shedding a skin is kind of how I'm seeing it, like a snake shedding its skin, which is also appropriate because we just exited the year of the snake, shedding all the energy that doesn't serve us into the year of the horse, and things are supposed to pick up the pace. So the collective theme, the way that a collective reading works, just so you know, is I pull cards, bring through messages for a collective group of individuals. And if you're watching and resonating, then the messages could be for you. So, yes, the year of the horse, the astrology is supposed to pick up a lot. And it's important to, I would say, try and hone all your energy in on that focus. Because when we look at the circumstances that we are currently a part of, the ones that we do not like, the ones that we're really uncomfortable with, where we feel stuck and stagnant, the place where it feels like no growth is occurring, it's important to keep that sight and remember the light at the end of the tunnel. For us, seasonally, that's spring, right? It's been a brutal winter. We work our energies very much with the cycle if you live in this particular climate. And it has been a heavy, heavy winter energetically, emotionally on people. So it's like, even though you may look around and it looks like all the flowers and trees are dead and it's just like endless winter, we remember that in a few short weeks, which will pass faster than we realized, the sun will start to come out again. We'll be able to go outside more, and the pace will inevitably pick up. So just keep that in mind during this time, because I feel like the really big pattern for this collective right now is this unbelievable amount of stuck, stagnant, frustration energy. And it's not necessarily stuck in a way that you are creating. It's stuck because there are circumstances, there are things that you're not in control of. And when you find yourself in that space, it's very important to keep trying to, you almost have to, like, spiritually, right? Like, reach out of yourself, and instead of looking around at what looks bleak right in front of you, and kind of grasp for that energy of the future, of the circumstances that you want to have. Yes, you want to live presently in every individual moment, but we also, like, we're not going to get to where we want to be by just looking around in the circumstances that we want to change and be like, oh my God, I hate this. You know what I mean? I feel so stuck here. I hate this. This is miserable. Nothing is ever going to change. This is just my story. That's the defeated mindset that really stops progress. That's the defeated mindset that stops you from finding good routines, engaging in movement with your body, really being able to connect into the future energy, the energy you want to manifest, want to be a part of, the timeline you want to be on. I'm sure you've seen people say this before, but it is a little bit about, like, you have to be a little bit delusional, especially, right? Like, given the state of the world right now and what's around us, you have to be a little bit delusional to believe that there is still a hopeful future, that your life can turn out the way you want it to, that things are going to start moving in your favor, especially when the past has shown you the opposite. And so I'm going to jump into the cards now because I feel like that was a good intro. So this is the Mystic Mondays Tarot, and I love these cards. I think they're visually very, very pretty. So the first one I want to talk about here is the Seven of Cups energy. So Seven of Cups energy is typically that energy of like, there are so many different things I could be focusing on. Like I look at this, right? I see intuition, love, not exactly sure what the moon is symbolizing here, but there's just all these different types of energies trying to, get our attention at once. And it's like there are too many balls in the air for some of you in this collective, and that is what's creating a sense of overwhelm. So you can have a lot of things going on, right? It's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to want a lot of different things. It's okay to have those desires, but the key is really, I think, to choose one. I think that was the message that's coming in for this collective. Start somewhere. Choose one of the cups that you want to focus on. What is most realistic for you to focus on to try and bring into your life, given the resources that you have at this present moment? And then if you still want to pursue these other cups, whatever they have to do with, whether it's relationship, job, location, whatever it is, right? Go let that be like a natural unfolding process of focusing on what you can realistically take care of, and then dividing your attention. But you have to start somewhere. We can't stand in the middle of like all these different energies and them just have them all just like swirling about us. You need to pick one, integrate it, work there, and with any luck over the next few weeks, that will help you move forward and bring you to where you want to be. And Mercury retrograde is a really good time to figure out which one of these cups you want to pick up. Where do you want the focus and energy to be? Because things are only successful when your energy can be in that one place. You may be somebody that can multitask. You may be somebody that's very productive, can get a lot of things done, but it's not sustainable when there's no organization. So we get to pick one and start. So that was the first message. So little Seven of Cups energy. So lots going on. And then these two cups came in as well, the World and the Wheel of Fortune. So anytime you see the wheel, that symbolizes to me that things are moving, whether you see it or not, whether you believe it or not. The wheel is turning, it's moving, things are changing. Like I said, seasonally is like the symbolism of that for us here on the East Coast. But the World and the Wheel of Fortune to me can sometimes be very similar cards, and they symbolize a huge ending of a cycle. I also, from this card to me really, like visually, I feel like it's speaking to me a lot about like the root chakra, the connection to the earth. So your connection to this realm and the way that your life is set up, materially, your environment, all those types of things. And it's like we're kind of moving from a place where everything is about the materials, but there's a transformation occurring that's spiritual in nature. And there's a transformation that's occurring that is connecting you further to your divinity, because so many people in our world are so tired of like playing the game and being a part of systems that are oppressive, that don't serve them. And that has caused this huge wave of self-reflection. So if you're in this collective, you're in that wave, and you are really going from, okay, this is the world and all its systems and all the ways that it works, but it's not quite working for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go within and I'm going to figure out who I am on a 100% authentic soul level. And that is what's going to bring me forward. And that's what's ultimately going to bring me happiness, right? Because everybody wants to be happy at the end of the day. I'd say that's the big goal for a lot of people. It's just a matter of how do we get there, and recognizing that happiness is not one long thread where every single day is wonderful. There is a lot of challenge and hard work, but the more authentic your life is, the more you are engaging with activities every day that actually feed your spiritual self, right? Feed your soul, not just your physical vessel, not just your, environment, not just playing by the rules of the system. When you do things that feed your soul, you gain that deep connection to your own divinity, your own higher self, and that will propel you forward. All right, let's see what else here. And then this other card that came out with that, which is just really beautiful, because these cards are very simple, which is what I like about them too. The Ace of Wands, which is one of my favorite cards, because the Ace of Wands really symbolizes, like, to me, often, when it comes up in a career reading especially or something, it just symbolizes your gift to me. The Ace of Wands symbolizes your gift. So it's like we're coming from this energy here. We have the Seven of Cups, like, I'm not really sure what I should be focusing on because the world tells me that this, and this is what I should be concerned about. But there's also kind of like a reckoning within my soul going on. And instead of just playing by the rules of the systems that are in place in this world and trying to play a part that I don't really resonate with anymore, I'm going to go within and connect with my spiritual self. I'm going to recognize my gift, right? Because I really view your gift as what you came here to give away. There's a quote about that. I can't remember which author or poet. And the quote is that the purpose of, or the meaning of life is to discover your gift and then like give it away. And that's what I think when I see these cards together, this Ace of Wands, that hand picking up this wand, that's your magic, that's your gift. What are you so good at? Like, without trying, without feeling pressured into it because it seems like the world is telling you this is what everyone else is doing. What are you good at? What is your, like, really leaning into that energy and trying to hone that, whether it's a craft or a way of being. Like, we have to get out of the mindset of everything's just about productivity and money nonstop, because that is what creates this energy. And yes, money comes in when you have a gift. That's part of our system, but we're going from this space where everything is very much about just productivity for the sake of again, serving these systems that don't support you and will never really help you to be like emotionally fulfilled. It's coming from this place and coming into your soul work, your heart work, the stuff that that really like brings meaning and purpose to your life. And you will discover that through your gift. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this right now, we can all think of one or two things that we're exceptionally good at. So then we have these other two cards that came in. Super interesting that they're both princess cards, because in this deck, the princess is like a novice kind of feminine energy, a bit like a page, I would say. And that means it's new. So if you're in this collective, the way I see it over the next like few months, what's kind of going on for you is you will be dipping your toes into a new path, but it's gonna feel new in the beginning. It may feel scary. You may feel out of your element, like, I have no business here, I don't know what I'm doing. That's a good feeling. That's what you should go for. And it just feels like that's the energy that serves you. Discomfort is so rewarding in many ways. It's nice to be cozy and not pushed out of our comfort zone, but it is ultimately like this dull wearing away at the soul every single day, right? When you're placed in whatever environment that doesn't feel, it doesn't feel good to you, right? So whatever you're about to pursue, get into, move towards, certainly is going to be new, because you have these princess cards. So it's like, this is some new power that we're holding and generating. This is a new project. This is a new way forward. This may be a new way of thinking. And then the Princess of Wands is the movement. So this is like gathering the energy or the resources, and this is putting that into motion in the movement. The other thing that I'm getting from this, because she is in what seems to be like a bit of a yoga pose, is the importance of somatic healing. So like this energy that we started the reading with, all this like, oh my God, which way do I go? Seven of Cups, confusion energy. Where do I focus my energy? That comes from a very mental space. And that type of worry can intensify when we're far too much in our heads and not tending to our bodies and neglecting our bodies. And in this day and age, it's very easy to do that. I think we all try to be as healthy as possible. We try to do self-care. But there's no perfection in that. It's not ever going to be easy to perfectly take care of ourselves, right? It's just difficult in this day and age. But it can be basic. It can be just some somatic movement. It can be stretching or putting on some music and dancing in your house or just going for a walk. It's very, very important. I don't think it's ever been more important to be in your body, because that is it's how you integrate every change that you go through, every curveball that life throws at us. We need to come back to the vessel. And, make no mistake, it may be your physical body, but it's 100% part of your spiritual journey to be in the body. And so this is kind of saying yeah, there's some new energy here. You're going to hold some more power towards something. I don't know what it is. It could be a job. It could be a project. It could be a big decision that you're making. It could be a new craft or skill. And this is just saying, just be humble and slow about it and get into your body and focus on routines and healthy routines, and focus on just doing the absolute best that you can, and just knowing that that is 110% enough right now. It's been a heavy winter. It's been grueling, I'd say. It's been tough for a lot of people, but we will come out on the other side of it. And I'm sending you lots of love and hope, and creative energy as well, because I feel so much of that from this, and that creative energy really guided by spirit, what I see here in the world. This really feels kind of like a angelic energy almost. And that's important too. It's not all about productivity. It's about creation. And when you're creating is when we are the best version of ourselves, I'd say. So make sure to continue to create, continue to make art, continue to do things that bring you joy just for the sake of doing them. And I hope this resonated for some of you. If not, just take it with a grain of salt and move on. But have a wonderful rest of your weekend.